The air was thick with an eerie stillness. The streets of Texas buzzed with life as they always did, but an unsettling energy crept through the wind, whispering secrets only the watchful could hear. It was as if time itself had taken a deep breath, waiting for something inevitable. Roth sat in his dimly lit study, his fingers tapping against the wooden desk. He had seen many things in his lifetime, but nothing like this. The prophecy weighed heavy on his mind, the words of the Holy Spirit echoing in his thoughts like the tolling of a distant bell. The world was about to witness a sign, one that could not be ignored. He turned on the camera, his voice steady but urgent. Something very unusual is about to happen this week, and many people are not yet ready for it. He began, his gaze piercing through the lens. He spoke of the eclipse, of the warnings given before, and the mark that was soon to be completed across the land. He knew many would dismiss his words, call them the ramblings of a fanatic, but those who had ears to hear would understand. Far above, the heavens stirred. The clouds, once innocent tufts of white, thickened into ominous masses that stretched across the horizon. Birds fell silent, the hum of nature replaced by an expectant hush. And then it began. A shadow darker than night swallowed the sun, plunging Texas into an unnatural gloom. It was not an eclipse, at least not one of mere celestial alignment. The very fabric of the sky seemed to shift, rippling as if something beyond human comprehension had torn through the veil, separating the heavens from the earth. The people watched in awe and horror. Scientists scrambled for explanations, claiming it was an atmospheric anomaly, a rare weather event. But those who had been waiting, those who had listened, knew better. This was the sign. Ross's phone buzzed uncontrollably, messages flooding in from across the country. Reports of the darkening sky, of an unexplainable stillness that had settled upon the land, filled every news outlet. Texas was at the heart of it, but the world felt its tremor. A mother clutched her child tightly as she peered out her window, her heartbeat quickening. A preacher fell to his knees in the middle of his sermon, his hands trembling as he whispered prayers. A scientist stared at his instruments, sweat beading on his forehead, for the readings made no sense. No logical explanation could justify what was happening. And then, as suddenly as it had come, the darkness deepened. The sky became a canvas of swirling shadows, shapes moving within it, unseen but felt. An overwhelming sense of revelation, of finality, seeped into the hearts of those who watched. Some wept, others raised their hands to the sky, but all knew that something beyond human control was unfolding before their very eyes. The final alignment is coming, Ross whispered to himself, his own breath stolen by the magnitude of the moment. Somewhere in a small chapel, a priest lit a candle, his fingers shaking. He had dismissed these prophecies before, called them exaggerations. Now, as he watched the heavens churn like a storm of the divine, he understood. In the midst of the chaos, a voice rang out, not audible, but heard in the depths of the soul. Listen, my people. I have given signs in the heavens, yet many still do not see. I have spoken through the earth, yet they do not hear. But now, a sign will appear that cannot be ignored. The voice sent a shiver down the spines of those who heard it. It was neither male nor female, neither gentle nor harsh. It was truth, pure and undeniable. This week, in the land where my shadow has passed before, I will give another sign, a confirmation of what is to come. Look to Texas, look to the sky, for before this week ends, there will be a disturbance in the heavens. Tears welled in the eyes of the faithful. They had waited, they had prayed, and now they bore witness. Then came the shift. A soundless pulse rippled through the air, a force that could not be seen but was deeply felt. Those attuned to it gasped as their spirits trembled. It was a warning, a reminder, a final call before the appointed time. As suddenly as it had begun, the sky lightened, the oppressive shadow lifting. But the world was not the same. The people were not the same. News anchors stammered, struggling to explain what had happened. Scientists fumbled through theories, each one more implausible than the last. The government called for calm, but the people had already seen. Ross exhaled, his fingers still trembling. The world will not understand, he said, staring at his reflection in the darkened screen. But you, my people, must. The storm had passed, but the message had been delivered. The alignment was nearing completion, The final mark was soon to be made. The faithful had been given their warning, and those who had ignored the signs, they would soon see.